face on it does mean thank you. Another word that we'll use around here is twende, which means let's go. Hello everyone, my name is Maddie. I'm going to be your safari guide on our journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Before we get started, I do have a few very important safety reminders. Please make sure to remain fully seated at all times with those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck. This is a very real vehicle I'm actually driving, and the road up ahead is incredibly bumpy, so hold on to your loose items. If you do drop something along the way, just let me know. We will do our very best to get it back to you. However, I cannot guarantee that it'll be in the same condition that you left it in. Little ones are all more than welcome to sit on a grown-up's lap. Just please make sure they stay on the same lap with the same grown-up the entire time. And do not lift any little ones up into the air. Don't let them stand on top of your lap, and no musical chairs, no hot potato, no sloppy seats. This goes for both my grown-ups and my little ones aboard. This is for your safety, their safety, and the safety of the animals around us. It looks like we did just get that final all clear from the warden to make our way on into the reserve. So grown-ups, watch your little ones. Most importantly, little ones, watch your grown-ups. We're beginning our journey today by exploring the Little Aturi Forest. Looks like we have quite a few familiar faces hanging out all the way up front here at the beginning. Coming up on your left, you'll be able to spot a few rust-colored antelope called bongos. And in just a moment on your right, you'll also be able to spot an okapi roaming about with some really silly-looking party pants on. Okapis are commonly confused to be a relative of a zebra or even a horse, but they're actually the only known relative of a giraffe. We know this because their skull shape is almost identical to that of a giraffe, and they'll use their long, prehensile tongues in a very similar fashion. And to your left is a good look at these bongos, and all the way in the back are a few rust-colored antelope called the greater kudu. If you look closely at the horns on top of this bongo's head, you'll notice that they're twisted backwards, and that'll help them move silently through the forest without alerting any nearby predators. In contrast, none of those greater kudus have horns, which is actually the easiest way to determine that they're all females. On your left, if you look just next to us, you can spot a black and white bird that's called a saddle-billed stork, tucked into the bushes over here. Saddle-billed storks do get their name from that yellow saddle portion that's present at the very center of their beak. Those birds might appear to be pretty small in size, but their wingspan is around 9 feet wide, which is just about the width of the canopy above your head. Still over on your left, you're going to spot a black rhino laying up all the way against this center fallen over tree trunk over here. And black rhinos are incredibly territorial. They will often share their space with other black rhinos, but they do spend quite a bit of time rolling around in the mud, since covering their skin with mud works as a natural sunscreen and insect repellent for them here in the forest. Those horns that are present on the very tip of that rhino's nose is going to be made out of keratin, which is the same substance to make up our human hair and fingernails. Before we make our way out of the forest, we're going to make a little detour, drive on right past the Safi River. Many of the animals that inhabit the Safi River are going to spend time just beneath the surface of the water, so pay extra close attention to some of these approaching waterways. Your right, you'll be able to spot a few pink-backed pelicans resting up on fallen over branches. You can spot a pair of Nile hippos, but they're hiding in that back right corner, so you might not be able to spot them. Some of you have to completely turn around. They're just kind of tucked into the water over there. We do have a chance to see a few more as we keep on going, so just bear with me for a few more moments. But pink-backed pelicans get their name from the light pink color, their face, and beak will turn during mating season. It's their own way of flirting, kind of like they're blushing, letting all the other pelicans know that they're seeking their newest mate. To your left is a much better view at tons more of these hippos over here. Hippos will typically spend quite a bit of time underwater since they can hold their breath for several minutes. Despite that enthusiasm, hippos are actually not considered to be aquatic animals, and they are going to be extremely territorial. However, hippos are not solitary, which means they will not hang out by themselves. Instead, they'll stay in pretty large groups like we just got to see, and that's referred to as a bloat. Now, bloated hippos will have about 10 or 20 of them together at once, but those numbers can go up into the hundreds. When a new hippo joins the bloat, they'll typically face off in territorial displays by opening up their jaws, exposing their large teeth, and making a very loud sound called a wheeze honk. That will sound exactly as you imagine it to. As we make our way over this bridge, take a look below. You might be able to spot a few Nile crocodiles around here. Nile crocodiles are cold-blooded reptiles, which means they are unable to regulate their internal temperature. So on much cooler days, they'll primarily rely on sunbathing to keep themselves warm. Just beneath the scales on their back is a plate that's called an osteoderm that's going to function as a natural solar panel. So as they sunbathe, that osteoderm will help them collect as much necessary heat needed to pick up their body's internal temperature. In just a few more moments, we're going to further our journey here today by entering the savannah. Oh my goodness, is nobody excited for the savannah? Let's try that one more time. Okay.
Woo!
All over, pretend you didn't hear it the first time. All right, my friends, in just a few more moments, we're furthering our journey here today by entering the savannah.
Woo!
Oh my goodness, so exciting. Now, many of the animals that do inhabit the savannah are going to be ones you know, but there's tons of animals out here that you might not even know existed. If you look on top of your head just beneath the canopy, there's an animal spotting guide up there you're able to use to identify the many different animals that we might get a chance to see out here today. Now, I can't guarantee that we'll see every single one of those animals up there, but we'll try our very hardest. Just remember that this is the home of the animals around us, which means they are the ones to both pick and choose whenever they want to come on out and say hello. But it does look like we're already going to get pretty lucky out here this morning. I can see a few Maasai giraffes up ahead, some Herman's Mountain zebras. Looks like one of those giraffes is making her way on over right to us over here. I know exactly where she's going. Where are we going? Stop right here for a second while this thing crosses the road real quick. All right.
Kilimanjaro traffic, what can you do?
Yes, traffic jam going on over here.
Good one.
At the very tippy top of their heads, you can see two stumps. Those are called ossicones. Both male and female giraffes have ossicones on top of their head, but it's typically the males that will use them to defend themselves. Don't worry, we're going to get a really good look at tons more of those giraffes around here. They are wandering around everywhere today. Looks like there's another one straight ahead on your right. And just like the okapi that we saw not too long ago, giraffes do have long prehensile tongues that'll be around 18 inches in length. Now for all my grown-ups aboard, that's around the length of the tip of your middle finger all the way down to your elbow. Giraffes will wrap their tongues around branches and pull off all the leaves and twigs along with it, since they are herbivores. We'll go ahead and stop right here to get a pretty good view of this giraffe, but over on your left as well, you can see a few copper-colored antelope. Those are called a sable antelope. Now, if you recognize the sable antelope, that's probably because they are the emblem here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And the reason for that is when given the option of either fight or flight, they will always choose to stay and protect their families. Those large horns on top of their head will help them defend themselves against predators and during dominant displays of courtship. Coming up over here on your left, I'm going to introduce all of you guys to my very close, very important personal best friend on the entire planet, and that's going to be that baby giraffe hanging out just ahead over on your left. So cute. I'll put it in my pocket. Now on your left,
I'll be a big pocket.
Mountain zebras roaming about as well. Now this specific species of zebra will be black with white stripes and not white with black stripes. And we know this because their snout is the same shade of black compared to the rest of the stripes that they'll have across their body. Their very large size, giraffes actually don't need a ton of sleep to make it throughout the day, only needing around 30 minutes of rest to get through a 24-hour period. More often than not, they'll just take short 5-minute naps around the savannah, sometimes standing up, sometimes with their eyes open. See, he came over to us because I'm his best friend. He wanted to say hi to all the friends that I brought with me today. Ooh, on your right, there's a beige colored antelope over here. This is called an eland. The elands do happen to be my personal favorite out here on the savannah. They hold the title for the largest species of antelope. When male elands are seeking a mate, they'll typically decorate their horns using leaves, branches, and even flowers, since female elands will choose to mate with the male that has the nicest set of decorated horns. So if you happen to make your way on back over to the safari and you see one of those elands with branches stuck in their horns, I promise it's probably there on purpose. As we further our journey through the savannah, though, I do see quite a few toppled over tree trunks up ahead, which means we're approaching some elephant territory. Keep a close eye out on your left as well. You might be able to spot a few mandrills monkeying around. They do like to hide from you this time of day, so let's see what we can find. You kind of spot that mandrill that's running around back over there, all the way in the back. They just run around and duck on in inside every single time. Now, mandrills are going to hold the title for the largest species of monkey, with two very large canine teeth to go along with it. Their canine teeth are about 2 inches in length. And while many people might believe that a monkey burying their teeth would be a defense mechanism, that actually isn't quite the case for the mandrill, since they'll often bare their teeth at one another in an attempt of a friendly gesture. If you look to your right, you can spot that African elephant over there. It looks like they were hiding in a blind spot. And we can tell that this elephant to your right is a male because it looks like he's just hanging out all by himself. Once male elephants reach maturity, they will branch off and form their own little bachelor herd, while the females and their calves remain in their own respective herd. Those larger groups are typically led by a matriarch, which means that the eldest female elephant will lead the herd, normally since she can remember the most number of migration patterns. As we make our way beneath this bridge up ahead, if you take a look at the rocks beside us, you'll notice they are covered in some sort of red substance, and this is going to be called red clay. I do see quite a few elephant footprints up ahead, and even some tusk marks similar to this clay over on your right, which means hopefully we'll be able to spot another herd of elephants up ahead. Elephant tusks are going to be just very large incisor teeth that are made out of ivory. They're often used to topple over trees, to defend themselves against predators, and to dig up at some of that red clay we got to see. Since it contains quite a few different minerals that are very essential to their overall diet. Looks like we're going to spot a few of those elephants up ahead hanging out by the water. In order to get all the nutrients that they need, African elephants are going to use their trunks to aid in eating, drinking, and even playing. So they can gather up fallen over branches to play around with, or they might pick up some leaves and hay from the ground to bring to their mouth to eat. Many people do have the misconception that elephants can drink water up their trunks, but that's not quite true. If they tried, it would be pretty painful, very similar to one of us humans drinking water up our noses. So instead, they will fill their trunks up with water and bring it to their mouth to drink, just like they're using a straw. Actually, just like that elephant to the right is doing. Now, in order to be able to pick up those branches, gather up those hay, drink all that water, elephant trunks do need to be very strong. Elephants actually have more muscles in their trunks than us humans have in our entire bodies. On your left is going to be a large flamboyance of greater flamingos. And flamingos get the pink color that's in their feathers from the beta carotene that's in the shrimp that they eat. So if you look closely, some of these flamingos might appear to be a little bit lighter in color than the rest. And that just means that they haven't had enough of that beta carotene recently to bring out those darker pink feathers. Since they do actually have the ability to lose the pink color that's in their feathers over time. On your left, you can spot a few more of those elephants. I can't stop as we're going over the trees, so I'll go see this one. They're heading all the way in the back over there. Now we are approaching a pretty recently used mud wallow around here. And mud wallows are used by many of the larger animals on the savanna, like elephants and rhinos, since rolling around in the mud, covering their skin with dirt, is going to help protect their skin from the sun and insects, just like back over in the forest. On your right, all the way in the back, looks like there are a few white rhinos laying on out, taking a nice little nap. Unlike the black rhino we got to see earlier, white rhinos are considered to be a semi-social species, which means they'll remain in large herds called a crash. As I round this next corner over here, look extra closely on your left. You might be able to spot a few cheetahs. Cheetahs are masters at camouflage, and the spot pattern on their fur is going to help them stay hidden from any nearby predators. They are the fastest land animals on the planet, with the ability to reach speeds of about 60 miles an hour in just 3 seconds. Their semi-retractable claws will work as natural cleats for them to maintain balance and direction as they run. But despite their ability to run very fast, cheetahs cannot maintain that speed for long periods of time, only about a couple hundred yards. I do see a pretty large Kobe rock formation around here. And Kobe rocks are home to many of the larger cats around the savanna, like lions. There's actually a female lion laying on out the very tippy top of one of those rocks. Lions will often make their dens inside of these rock formations to get up super high into the sky so they can overlook the savanna and seek out any prey that may be nearby. They are going to be the only species of large cats to remain in a group altogether, referred to as a pride. And lions will often communicate using their roars, as a fully grown lion's roar can be heard at over 5 miles away. You can get a good look at a male lion laying on out at the very front over here. The lions are nocturnal animals, which means they will sleep for most of the day and then be much more active at night. At nighttime, the female lion will do most of the hunting for the pride, while the male stays behind, protects their den, and takes care of their cubs. So I like to say we can think of male lions as just really great stay-at-home dads. Just like any other cat that you might know and love, lions do love to sleep throughout the day, often sleeping for somewhere between 16 to 20 hours a day. On your right, you're going to be able to get one last good look of these white rhinos over here. If you look closely and think to yourself that they do not appear to be very white in color, you would be absolutely correct. And that's because the name of the white rhino comes from the mistranslation of the Afrikaans word for wide, which is in reference to their wide-set jaws. On your right, you're going to spot an ostrich over here, but once I pass this tree, look at the ground, you'll actually be able to spot a few ostrich eggs as well. Now when laid, these eggs will weigh about 3 pounds each, which is the same weight of around 2 dozen chicken eggs. And an ostrich is considered to be the largest species of bird. They are flightless, so don't worry, they won't take the air anytime soon. But they do have two very strong, very powerful legs that they will use to propel themselves forward and to defend themselves against predators they encounter. We're going to make our way out of the savannah and into the Magadi Glen, where the warden has decided to set up her posts. The warden is out here on the reserve to help care for all the animals that call this place their home. But as we get closer, many of you will see it appears like a group of Nigerian dwarf goats have decided to move in with her. Despite their size, all of the goats out here on the reserve are fully grown and a type of dairy goat, which means that in exchange for caring for these animals, the warden can collect some of that milk of theirs and either keep it for herself or bring it to a local market for sale. Our journey through the reserve is coming to an end, and as we make our way back, all my grown-ups and little ones aboard, take a quick look around and make sure we're gathering up all those personal belongings. Every single one of you aboard today does have a role to play in conservation, and you just took the very first step by coming on this safari and being open to learning more about these animals and their natural habitats. One of the easiest ways to aid in conservation back at home is to do exactly what I've been doing for our entire journey here today, and that's to just talk about all the wonderful animals we got to see. Share all the super cool facts I taught you along the way, but don't forget to express the importance of protecting these animals and their homes. Remember, something as simple as reducing, reusing, and recycling is going to go a very long way to help them out. But if you want to make a difference all the way here at Animal Kingdom, you're able to donate towards the Disney Conservation Fund at any merchandise store. The Walt Disney World Company will match every cent and dollar that is donated to help protect these animals, and you'll earn a Super Cheap Conservation Bureau funding to go along with that donation. And lastly, if I happen to have any wilderness explorers aboard today, you have been on the Simba 1. Simba like the lion, SIMBA, and 1 like the number. You'll write that down on page 1414 of your booklet to grab that badge as you exit. Now, looks like it is just about our turn to make our way towards that unloading area. However, here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye. That is just way too sad and far too final. So I'll leave you guys with one more Swahili word, and that is kwaherini, which means to go well. Hey everyone, my name is Maddie. I am from Miami, Florida, and I hope you had a very wonderful and truly magical time on your journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. And please enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.